विश्वनाथ है, कैलाशवासी देवता। शिव भाल सोहे चंद्रमा, सोहे जटा भागीरथी। शिव भाल सोहे चंद्रमा, सोहे जटा भागीरथी। प्रभु नीलकंठ दिगंबरा, शोभाय कुलच विराजती। प्रभु नीलकंठ दिगंबरा, शोभाय कुलच विराजती। नागेश जन जन के पिता, दीनानाथ है, विश्वनाथ है। नागेश जन जन के पिता, दीनानाथ है, विश्वनाथ है। वामांग सोहे अंबिका, दीनानाथ है, विश्वनाथ है। वामांग सोहे अंबिका, दीनानाथ है, विश्वनाथ है। कैलाशवासी देवता। शिव से ही सोहे जीवन, सोहे सकल ये वसुंधरा। शिव से ही सोहे जीवन, सोहे सकल ये वसुंधरा। पर्वत सलिल सागर नदी में, व्याप्त शिव परमेश्वरा। पर्वत सलिल सागर नदी में, व्याप्त शिव परमेश्वरा। सृष्टि ने गिन से भव्यता, दीनानाथ है, विश्वनाथ है। सृष्टि ने गिन से भव्यता, दीनानाथ है, विश्वनाथ है। वामांग सोहे अंबिका, दीनानाथ।
प्रेम से बोलो गजानन स्वामी की जय। जय जय सीताराम सब कोई। नमस्ते, सत श्री अकाल, जय गुरुदत्ता, Om Sai Ram, pranams, and a very, very pleasant good evening to each and every one of you. Devotees, Swagatam, welcome again to our 106th edition of your program, Shivoham, Universal Healing through Oneness. I thank all of you for joining this evening. Let us begin before we go into Dhyanam, let us share the broadcast, invite your friends and relatives to join as we begin this wonderful evening of Dhyanam, of Bhakti on this final night of the Pitrupaksh period. If we sit upright, if you're on the floors, please cross your legs with your back straight. Of course, if you're on a chair, also lean forward with your back straight. Gently bow your heads. Barely close your eyes. Relax. Breathe in, we say so. And as we breathe out, we say hum. I and my Father are one. So exhale, hum. One more time. So hum. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatye Namaha, Shri Guru Charana Kamale Bhyo Namo Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samshrita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Karapura Gauram Karunavataram Samsara Saram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridayaravinде Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami. Atulit Baladhamam Hema Shailabadeham Danujavan Krishano Jnaninam Agraganyam Sakala Gunanidhanam Vanaranamadhisham Raghupati Priyabhaktam Vatajatam Namami. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanur Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanamas dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sanstharpanathaya sambhavami yuge yuge. प्रेम से बोलो बाके वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Radhe Radhe. My dear brothers and sisters, once again Swagatam. As we do every Tuesday on Shivoham, let us now chant the 6 beautiful verses composed by Aji Shankaracharya, Nirvana Shatakam, this beautiful prayer glorifying Bhagwan Shiva, Bholenath, as he sits upon Mount Kailash looking down at us, blesses us with the Abhaya Mudra, meaning, have no fear when I am here. Tonight, the chorus of this beautiful prayer, Chidananda Rupaha, Shivoham, Shivoham. Let us sing. Prem se bolo Mahapati Mahadeva ki. Om Mano Bodhya Hankar Chittani Naham Nacha Stroha Jihave Nacha Grahanitri Nacha Bhum Bhumir Natejo Navayo Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Sing with me, follow. Nacha Prana Sandhyo Nave Panchavayo Nava Sapta Dhatur Nava Panchakosha Nava Panipadam Nachopastya Payo Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Sing. Haribol. Na me dvesharago na me lobhamoho na me Shivoham. Sing with me. Na punyam, na papam, na saukyam, na dukkham, na mantro, na tirtham, na veda, na yajna, aham bhojanam neva, bhojan na bhokta, chidananda rupa, Shivoham. Ati sundaram, bolo. न मे द्वेषरागो न मे मृत्युशङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धुर्न मृत्यं गुरुर्नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं. प्रेम से बोलो. निर्विकल्पो निराकार रूपो विभुजवाच सर्वाट सर्वेन्द्रियाणां न चासंघटं नैव मुक्तिर्न मेयः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं. शिवोऽहं बोलो. चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं. शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं. शिवोऽहं. प्रेम से बोलो मापति महादेव की जय. चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं. शिवोऽहं. Tonight let us now turn to the very first shloka, the very first chapter, Balkand of Ramcharitamanas, composed and written by Goswami Tulsidas Ji, as he offers obeisances now to Bhagwan Sri Ganesha, Mother Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, Mother Vahini, the goddess of speech, and of course, the sage Valmiki, the original author of Ramayana. We sing now Mangala Ashtakam from Sri Ramcharitamanas. Varnanam artha sanghanam rasanam chandasamapi mangalanam cha kartaro vande vani vinayakau bhavani shankaro vande shraddha vishwasrupino याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्थम् ईश्वरं वन्दे बोधमयं नित्यं गुरुं शङ्कररूपिणो यामाश्रितो हि वक्रोऽपि चन्द्रः सर्वत वन्दते सीताराम गुणग्राम पुण्यारण्यवृवाहृणो वन्दे विशुद्ध विज्ञानो कवीश्वर कपीश्वरो. प्रेम से बोलो भगवान रामचंद्र की जय. मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम Bhagwan Ramachandra ki jai. Tonight, devotees, we now go to the feet of Bhagwan Sri Ganesha. Pratama Pujye Vinayaka, the remover of all obstacles. As we sing tonight, we glorify him with this beautiful chant. Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha. I want you to clap your hands. I want you to bring out all of your musical instruments and play aloud. Sing along with me. Come on, your tablas, your harmoniums, your dholaks, your nals, mridangas, your kabasas, your shak, jhals, whatever you have. Bring it out. If you don't have a musical instrument, a lota and 2 spoons, even a glass and 2 spoons, but be very careful with it, all right? Come on, let us make some music, let us sing, let us glorify, and we chant Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Prem se bolo Gajanan Swami ki Haribol. Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Sri Siddhi Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ashta Vinayaka Namo Namah. Ganapati Bappa Mo Haribol. Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बप्पा मोरया ओम गम गणपतये नमो नमः श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बप्पा मोरया ओम गम गणपतये नमो नमः श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बप्पा मोरया ओ वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा ओम गम गणपतये नमो नमः श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बप्पा मोरया ओ गणपति बप्पा मोरया ओ गणपति बप्पा मोरया प्रेम से बोलो गजानन स्वामी की जय. And now let us sit upright once again. If you're on the floor, I ask you to cross your legs. If you're on a chair, please sit upright with your backs upright. As you sit in the lotus position, which is basically cross your legs, both palms like this, let it face up, not down. Face up on your laps like this, so the energy emanates upwards. And we chant very beautifully 11 recitations of Shri Gayatri Mantra, the Maha Mantra. Barely close your eyes, and in the center of your foreheads now, take that image of Mother Gayatri, Maha Gayatri, or your Ishta Devata tonight, or Bhagwan Shiva. Let us chant. Om Bhur Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Prem se bolo Shri Gayatri Mata Maharani ki jai. May the blessings of Ma Gayatri be upon one and all. Tonight, once again, we are very blessed to be in each other's company. In this virtual Yagshala, let us sing, let us glorify that name, the feet of the Guru. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parah Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. We bow tonight to the feet of that Guru, that lotus feet of the Gurus tonight. Wherever your Gurus are tonight, I want you to seek the blessings of that Guru. If they have gone to the beyond, bring them to bring their image to the center of your forehead and subliminally bow to their feet. And if you are very blessed tonight to be in the same homes with your parents, children, adults, likewise, your parents are there, please run, make a beeline and bow to their feet, kiss the feet and hug them. Say, Ma, Pa, Mommy, Daddy, I love you very much, and seek their blessings. Tonight, devotees, let us channel our energy now to the feet of Guru Maharaj as we sing Guru Kripalam Kevalam. Prem se bolo Shri Guru Maharaj ki. Clap your hands once again. Play along your musical instruments with me as we sing Guru Maharaj ki jai ho. Guru Kripalam Kevalam, Guru Kripalam Kevalam, बोलो गुरु कृपालम केवलम, 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 बोलो गुरु कृपालम केवलम, गुरु कृपालम केवलम, माता कृपालम केवलम, पिता कृपालम केवलम, बोलो माता कृपालम केवलम, पिता कृपालम केवलम, गुरु कृपालम केवलम, गुरु कृपालम केवलम, साई कृपालम केवलम, शिव कृपालम केवलम, साई कृपालम केवलम, शिव कृपालम केवलम, हरि बोल। गुरु कृपालम केवलम, गुरु कृपालम केवलम, गुरु कृपालम केवलम, गुरु कृपालम केवलम। प्रेम से बोलो श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। Tonight I bow to the lotus feet of my guru subliminally. My Mataji, my mother, Srimati Ms. Grace Persad, listening down in Trinidad, and of course my father, Shriman Pandit Teacher Tulsi Persad ji, listening as well in Trinidad. I say to you all, love you, Sitaram, namaste, a very, very pleasant good evening. Tonight, devotees, Shivoham, universal healing through oneness, our 106th episode tonight. Let me say Swagatam and a very humble welcome to all of you tonight, logged in and tuned in on my Facebook page at FL Pandit, Pandit. If you haven't done so already, please like the page so you can be informed of all the upcoming live broadcasts, and there are many over the next couple of weeks, of course. Those of you logged into my YouTube channel as well, thank you for subscribing to YouTube on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. And those of you as well, tune in live tonight on Bhakti TV on Tigo. My dear brother Pandit Satyanand Maharaji, thank you so much, brother, for broadcasting us live on your network. My dear mothers, fathers, gurus, Reverend Panditas and Pandits, some of you on tonight. My dear uncles and aunties, nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters, cousins, friends and relatives, children, my dear grandchildren, and my dear godchildren, the new ones also. Blessed are we to be amongst each other in this virtual satsang tonight, this collaborative satsang. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukam Iva Vandanat Mrityor Mokshyama Amrutat Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. Tonight let's take a minute to call all our friends and relatives, if you will, and please share the invitation with them. Share the broadcast on your walls and your pages. Invite everybody to join us in this beautiful virtual yagshala called Shivoham. Share the invitation as though you were having a little puja at your home, so that they too can share in the devotion with us. And let us lift the collective spiritual healing vibrations all across this planet. I'd like everyone to please tag at least 3 people in the comment section, particularly those who may not yet be aware that Shivoham is on the air. And of course tonight at the end, we will definitely perform Arati, Bhagavatam Arati. Tonight we begin as always by singing and chanting the 40 glorious verses of Shri Hanuman Chalisa. Pavanaputra Hanuman ki jai. Tonight, I ask all of you, if you know of anyone who is sick and suffering, there are many in the hospitals tonight. I've spoken to several of you. Some of you recovering from COVID-19, some with other ailments. Those of you in the ICU as well. The Shivoham family tonight, from all across the world, in all the different countries listening tonight, in all the different continents, all represented tonight. We channel all of this positivity from the lips and the blessings and the mukta of Pavanaputra Hanumanji right here tonight. To you all, this healing vibration coming to you with love from the Shivoham family. The 40 glorious verses of Sri Hanuman Chalisa now. Let us blend our voices, let us chant. And if any of you on this broadcast have just been having a really tough time in life, a bad week, perhaps a bad day today, may this recitation or rendition of Sri Hanuman Chalisa uplift you spiritually, morally, physically, and emotionally. Prem se bolo Pavanaputra Hanuman ki jai. Please join with me. Sri Guru Charan Saroj Raju Nij Man Mokuru Sudhari Barano Raghuvar Bimal Jasu जो दायकु फलचारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पावन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। Come on, clap your hands with me. Feel the energy, feel the vibrations, dance if you like. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बलरामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, सुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन वरण विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजग। जय श्री राम। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता। हरि बोल। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवार। लाए संजीवन लखन जियाए, रघुबीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस्त्र बदन तुम्हारो यश गावे, हस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद शारद सहित अहीसा। जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहांटे, कवि कोविद कहि सखई कहांटे। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव कीन्हा, राम मिलाए राजपथ दीना। तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। युग सहस्त्र योजन पर भानु, लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जल ढिलांघि गए अक्षर जनाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगमय अनुग्रह तुम्हारे देते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहई तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज संभारो आपै, तीनहु लोक हांकते कापै। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, इनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा, है पर सिद्धि जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता, स्वर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के। हरि बोल। तुम्हारे भजन राम को एकता चितना धरहि, अनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करहि, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बल। हरि बोल। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई, जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटे बंधी महासुख। जय श्री राम। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होए सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महादेरा। Everyone together, clasp your hands. पावन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप, राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। पावन सुत हनुमान की जय। प्रेम से बोलो पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। बजरंग बली की जय। महावीर स्वामी की जय। जय श्री राम। Tonight, devotees, on this final evening or final day, final night of this period of Pitrupaksh, of course, obeisances paid to all of our ancestors. We make the offerings tonight for the benefit of the departed souls of the ancestors, wherever those souls are. Today we ask Bhagavan Shri Krishna to ensure that all of our love or devotion nourishes those wonderful souls always. From the Bhagavad Gita, we chant very beautifully this beautiful shloka, Gita Dhyanam, number 8. It says, Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate girim, yat kripatamaham vande, paramananda madhavam. Prem se bolo Bhakti Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Dedicated now to all of our ancestors. Let's collectively offer this beautiful bhajan with lots of love. It says, when you are happy, everyone is in your companion. When you are sad, no one wants to come near you. Life is like moving shadows that comes and goes. This wealth is false and this body doesn't remain the same. Then why are you still carrying this bundle of sins throughout your life? Nothing is mine and nothing is yours. Everything is fleeting. Whether you are king or a common man, the end result will always be the same. You have to leave everything right here. On the outside, your body is merely a chunk of clay, of little substance. Then why do you probe deep? Why don't you probe deep within your mind to discover, make on who you really are? Regrettably, with false pride, you're focused now on your clean body, but never took the time to clean the dirt of your mind. Beautiful bhajan tonight as we sing. Come on, clap your hands with me. Sing along. Sukh ke sab saathi, dukh mein na koi. Oh, sing. Sukh ke sab saathi, dukh mein na koi. Oh, mere Ram, tera naam ek sacha दूजा न कोई। जय श्री कृष्ण। जीवन आनी जानी छाया, जीवन आनी जानी छाया, झूठी माया झूठी काया, फिर काहे को सारी उमरिया, फिर काहे को सारी उमरिया, पाप की घटड़ी सुख से सब साथी, दुख में ना कोई। ना कुछ तेरा ना कुछ मेरा, तेरा ना कुछ मेरा, ये जग जोगी वाला फेरा, राजा हो या रंक सभी का, राजा हो या रंक सभी का, अंत एक सा होई, सुख के सब साथी, दुख में न कोई, बाहर की तू माटी भागे, बाहर की तू माटी भागे, मन के भीतर क्यों ना झाके, उछले तन पर मान की आर, उछले तन पर मान की आर, मन की मैल न धोई, सिंह सुख के सब साथी, दुख में न कोई, मेरे राम तेरा नाम एक साचा दूजा न कोई, सुख के सब साथी, दुख में न कोई, प्रेम से बोलो मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम भगवान रामचंद्र की जय, बाके बिंद्रावन बिहारी लाल की जय, राधे राधे. Type into your chat windows. Come on, all of you. Jai Shri Krishna. Those of you on the other broadcast, say it out loud or type it in. Jai Shri Krishna. Radhe Radhe. Baake Bindravan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Devotees, tonight a very, very beautiful Katha. As a matter of fact, tonight will be the conclusion of the Bhagavat Vahini. So listen, beautiful ending tonight as the King Parikshit is on his final hours on this beautiful story, this beautiful Katha that we have been indulged in over the past several months. Tonight, the essence, the nectar, the honey, the amrit of this beautiful scripture, Srimad Bhagavat Vahini. Last week, during our 105th edition of Shivoham, we continued immersing ourselves in the Leelas of Bhagwan Shri Krishna from the Bhagavatam, as these Leelas were expounded to the King Parikshit and shared by Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba in the Bhagavat Vahini. Tonight, we'll once again continue to extract from the Bhagavat Vahini and look closely at the philosophical teachings contained in these beautiful scriptural references from the lips of our Bhagwan. As you all recall from last week's Katha, Maharaj Parikshit was enlightened by the sage Sukmuni on several of the boyhood, lifestyle, and major accomplishments in the lives of Sri Krishna and his brother Balarama. We learned about their days in the Gurukul of the great sage Sandipani and how they challenged the sea god Sagar to bring back the son of Sandipani who drowned in it. We also saw how Lord Krishna was able to tame the deadly serpent Kalya and destroy his Abhiman or ego. Tonight, we listen to perhaps one of the most powerful and at the same time a very sorrowful recollection of the events leading up to the birth of Bhagwan Shri Krishna and the approaching final minutes of the life of Maharaj Parikshit. Devotees, in this final night of Pitrupaksh, we also dedicate this episode of Shivoham to all of our ancestors who have contributed to the lives of our parents, our foreparents, and certainly our lives. We are who we are today because of the blessings of our wonderful ancestors, wherever they are tonight. We say Ram Nam Satya Hai, Om Satkati. May their souls always remain with Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Tonight, we also ask that those souls, wherever they are, receive the blessings and the love that will be emanated from this Katha tonight. I, Pandit Neil Dev Persad, am extremely humbled to have been given the opportunity to recite this Bhagavat Vahini from the lips of Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba, from the front cover to by the time we approach the hour of 9 p.m. tonight, we would have reached the back cover. I thank you humbly from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this beautiful journey, being a part of the Shivoham family, and certainly sharing in this glorious scripture called the Bhagavat Bhagavat Vahini. Prem se bolo Baki Bindravan Bihari Lal ki Jai Radhe Radhe. As our Kathaa begins tonight, the King Parikshit, who was listening now to the thrilling narrative of Lord Krishna's gratitude towards his Guru Sandipani, he suddenly opened his eyes and seeing the sage before him, he said, the miracles, the Leela of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. His wonderful acts exceeded each other in miracles and mystery. God is prepared to assume any burden in order to correct and to improve the world. Remember this, eh? By this means, he proclaims his genuine majesty and might. But the dark smoke of illusion, Maya, settles hard on man's eye and renders him incapable of even recognizing this divinity. Thus, he misses the inner significance of these miracles. Devotees, Sukmuniji understood the working of the king's mind. He says, Maharaj, the confusing influence of illusion, Maya, is the consequence of accumulated activities in the previous lives. You see, in our previous lives or karmic actions, he says, one can escape illusion through good consequence. One succumbs to it through deleterious consequences. In other words, if good activity has marked previous lives, in other words, if your previous lives, your past karma was good, any sinful tendency will be overwhelmed by virtuous tendencies in this life, and one will have faith in divinity. He says one will attach himself to the divine and spend his life on the basis of the divine. And this is what we have been doing in Shivoham. Prem se bolo Shivoham ki Jai Ho, Shivoham ki Jai Ho, Shivoham ki Jai Ho. Type into your chat windows, Shivoham ki Jai Ho. Devotees, on the other hand, those who have committed horrible crimes in the past lives have dreadful darkened visions which prevent them from even seeing the divine. How could you see God if you are committing sin, negativities? Such a one never reminds himself of God and his handiwork, never yearns for his own good and the good of others. He sees things in very false perspective. He revels in wickedness and engages in very vicious acts. It cannot be grown and harvested on the spur of a moment. Remember this. Divinity cannot be grown and harvested on the spur of a moment. It has to be practiced. You have to grow into it. And hearing these words, the King Parikshit now, he grew very anxious to know more about the merit acquired by the means of good activity or punya. Remember this word tonight, write it down. Punya. The demerit acquired by means of evil activities are called papa. Punya and papa. Like in the Nirvana Shatakam, na punyam, na papam, na saukhyam, na dukham. Right? No means of good activity, no bad activity, no evil activity. Saukhyam and dukham, happiness and sorrow. So, he then asked the sage Sukamuni, tell him now one more, just tell me sage, one more incident from Lord Krishna's career that dealt with a curse and its cure, illustrating to me the principle of divinity, the principle of destiny. Sukmuniji now began to laugh at his request. He says, Maharaj, countless are the cures that Lord Krishna affected unto all those affected by curses. The demons, the Rakshasas who he killed while he was yet a child, and later as a boy, as I have told you, were all cursed to be born so as punishment for some evil deed. And when they met death with the hands of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, they were all liberated from the curse. Think about these Rakshasas, like Marich, like Ravan and Ramayana. All of these fellows, demons, devotees, but they were killed at the hands of Bhagavan to attain salvation. Even Kansa. They were liberated from this curse. And the king now put in a suggestion. He said, I have heard of the uprooting of a tree. Was an amazing incident of outstanding importance in Bhagavan Shri Krishna's Leela. I could derive deep joy from your elaboration of that, O sage. Sukmuniji, who was ever ready now to oblige him, he began the story. I want you to listen to this beautiful story, devotees. Very powerful indeed. Reap the benefits of Bhagavatam tonight. The Amrit is here tonight. The nectar is here. He says, though there was no, sparsity of servants, it was Yashoda, the mistress of the house, who according to traditional custom, she did all the chores of the household, boiling the milk, curdling it, churning it, and then preparing the butter. All these activities were personally done by her. One day, she woke up at usual time, 4:30 a.m. Everybody gets up at 4:30 a.m., right? It's called Brahma Muhurat. And she took a bath, and she did her early morning duties. And later, placing the milk pot before her, she started now churning the milk contents, vigorously pulling the ropes now with that stick in the middle, the scissors stick like this, and she's pulling the ropes now, the churn rod, keeping that churn rod steady in the liquid, all the while singing sweet hymns of God. What was she singing? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, oh Hare Hare. And she kept on going like this, churning that pot of milk. Meanwhile, Gopal, Krishna, little baby, he came forward with slow but steady steps now to where his mother was churning and singing. And he gave a sudden sharp pull to the end of her sari. Yashoda Ma was startled, and at this unexpected pull. And she turned around, devotees, and was most pleasantly surprised when she found it was the mischievous child, Krishna. Putting now a stop to the churning rod, she took Krishna as a little baby in her arms and she began to fondle him. She began to love him up, as we say, dular, Mahaka dular. She says, dear son, it is not yet dawn. Why did you get up so early? Go, my darling, sleep again now for a few minutes. But the divine child, he lisped most entrancingly that it was hungry. He was hungry, and he began sobbing pathetically to confirm that his yearning be fed. And the mother's heart melted, Mata Yashoda. She placed the churning rod on one side and she covered the pot with a lid. And then she took Bhagwan Shri Krishna on her lap. Sitting just where she was, while feeding him now, breastfeeding him, she stroked his head gently and very softly. And what did Mother Yashoda began to do? She began to sing now to her Lal, to her Beta, to her Krishna. Just like our mothers sang to us, our Ajis, our Nanis, our foreparents sang to us when we were little babies. The bhajan says, my child is my lamp of my home. May this lamp remain of mine, glowing for ages and spread its light to my entire family and society. May my lamp never be blown out by life's storms and floods. May adversities in life never overcome my child. Lord, this I ask for. This child is the star of my eyes and the light of my life. May his face always smile like a lotus flower. Oh God, they say that you are friend of the weak. I declare that my child thrills my heart. Oh, he's such a sweet beauty for me. I pray that he as my toy may never be broken. Type into your chat windows, Jai Shri Krishna, as we sing this beautiful bhajan tonight. Prem se bolo Bhake Vrindavan, Bihari Lal ki. Mera deepak jug jug jale. Sing with me. Jug jug prakash phailaaye. Bolo. Mera deepak jug jug jale. Jug jug prakash phailaaye. Itna maango Bhagwan, aaye aandhi tufan, ye jyoti na bujhne paaye. Jug jug prakash phailaaye. Mera deepak jug jug jale. Jug jug prakash phailaaye. मेरे नैनों का ये तारा, मेरा जीवन का उजियारा, मुझे कमल फूल मुस्काए. जुग जुग प्रकाश फैलाए. मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले. जुग जुग प्रकाश फैलाए. मनमोहन मधुर सलोना, मेरा टूट न जाए खिलौना. तुम दीन बंधु कहलाए. जुग जुग प्रकाश फैलाए. मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले. जुग जुग प्रकाश फैलाए. ओ मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले. जुग जुग प्रकाश फैलाए. प्रेम से बोलो बाके वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. राधे राधे. Come on, type it into your chat windows. Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe, devotees. Now, Mata Yashoda feeding Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Just then, she heard now a noise of a pot rolling down from the oven in the kitchen side, and she suspected it was a mischievous cat. She lifted up the child from her lap and placed him on the floor, for she had to run to the kitchen now to examine what had happened. And when Yashodama disappeared into the next room, Bhagwan Shri Krishna was incensed at her behavior, dropping him in the middle of his meal. he saw a pot, and he turned all his anger towards it now, and he gave it a hard blow with a churning rod. And when all the curds flowed now on the floor, he collected the butter and stuffed it into his mouth, and hastened, he ran out of the room so that he wouldn't get scolded. When Yashoda Mara came into the room, she saw the broken pot of curds on the floor, and all of the butter was now gone. And Lord Krishna had made himself scarce, Makanchori. Knowing this to be his handiwork, she searched now for him in every nook and corner. She couldn't find him anywhere. Bhagavatam tells us she went into the neighboring houses and inquired whether he had been found by anyone there. Everyone declared that they had not seen the child. They didn't know where he was. And Yashoda Ma became really frightened now. He must have run away, dreading punishment for having broken the pot and spilling all its contents. She's saying to herself, oh, poor child. And she ran out into the darkness, and she thought, she searched every single house, and at last she caught a hold of him in the act of taking a pot of butter from a sling where the mistress of a house had hung several pots now full of milk, curds, and butter. You see, he was stealing the butter now. To do what? He was standing on an upturned mortar, right? A mortar is that big piece of concrete or stone that you grind grains and stuff in, right? Mortar, ukri and musa as they call it. So he was standing on an upturned mortar so he could lift the butter pot and bring it down safely now to share with whom? His comrades, devotees. Yashoda Ma shouted, you thief, Makanchori, do you behave like this in every house? When the poor cowherd maids, the gopis, complained to me about your thefts, I used to blame them without verifying their charge and send them away. I have seen it with my own eyes now. Yes, I can scarcely believe my eyes of what I am seeing. Oh, how mistaken I was all these days. Aha, I cannot let you escape now, O Gopal. I cannot let you escape. Devotees, yet another beautiful bhajan now that speaks of this part of the Kathaa tonight, as we sing very beautifully, as Mother Yashoda catches Gopal, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Makanchori, as she sings now in this beautiful bhajan. She says, O Gopal, he's saying to her, Ma, please don't punish me. Please don't punish me. I am your Gopal. I am your Nanda Gopal. Come on, devotees. Sing with me. Maya Mori, मैं नहीं माखन खायो, कहता सुनत है आखर खायो, झूठा दोष लगायो, ओरे मैया मोरी मैं नहीं माखन खायो. Clap your hands, come on, play those musical instruments, sing with me, feel the energy, feel the love of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Bhagavatam coming to you, Bhagavat Vahini. Prem se bolwa ke Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. Mori, मैं नहीं माखन खायो, कहत सुनत है आखर खाए, झूठा दोष लगायो, और मैया मोरी मैं नहीं माखन खायो. यमुना के तट पर ग्वाल बाल संग चार शहर में खेला, ओ गैया चरावत बंसी बजावत भई सांझ की बेला. भूख लगी तो दौड़त दौड़त सीधा मैं घर आयो, और मैया मोरी मैं नहीं माखन खायो. ना कोई मैंने मत की पूरी, ना के नींद की चोरी, ओ जान लिए तो मुझको झूठा, तूने माया मोरी. अपने अंग को कैसे समझा, तूने आज पर आयो, और मैया मोरी मैं नहीं माखन खायो. Now, as he's caught, Yashodama begins to feel sorry for him as she looks into this child's face and she sees the ocean, she sees the bliss, she sees the universe. Prem se bolo Bhake Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. Mata Yashoda now speaks with tears flowing from her eyes. She says, मैं तो बाबा नंद के लाला काहे छोड़ कहाँ हूँ ओ अपने घर में कौन कमी जो बाहर माखन खायो. She says, बात सुनी तो माता यशोदा, बात सुनी तो माता यशोदा हंस कर कंठ लगायो. फिर बोली तू नहीं माखन खाए. ओ फिर बोली तू नहीं माखन खाए. ओ गोविंदा मोरी तू नहीं माखन खाए. ओ रे कृष्णा मोरी तू नहीं माखन खायो. मैया मोरी ओ तू नहीं माखन खायो. प्रेम से बोलो बाकी वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. राधे राधे. Type into your chat windows, Jai Shri Krishna. Radhe Radhe. Our Kathaa continues, devotees. Mata Yashoda now, Bhagavan Shri Krishna begins to plead with her, pull on her hands, She says, no, Gopal, if I let you go off now on the plea that you are a little child, later it will lead to more calamitous crimes. I must punish you effectively now and not pardon you at all. When the child of a great family turns a thief, it is a disgrace to the entire clan. This ill fame cannot easily be wiped off. The reputation of our family will suffer. Devotees, great, great, great teachings here tonight. Mothers are very soft at striking and they're very strong at suffering. And they feel they're the last ones to strike a child. Devotees, most mothers, they feel the pains of their children. They protect their children. But sometimes you have to be stern. Sometimes you have to put your foot down, as we say, no? Her agony, devotees, was beyond expression. Mata Yashoda, that is. She had never before suffered so much humiliation. She yielded to great rush of anger, and she brought a long, thick rope now, and she went near Bhagavan Shri Krishna, intending to tie him to the heavy mortar, to that heavy piece of concrete, that heavy piece of stone. Gopal now, knowing her intention, he slipped in and out of every door and dodged her attempts to catch him, and Yashodama ran behind him through every street and every lane. She was well on the side of, she was a little bit fat, and she had never run so fast before, so she soon became exhausted, and she slowly now began to gasp for breath. Men and women and children began laughing at her in vain in the pursuit of this little boy running all over the place, and they enjoyed now to see the fun derived, all the more merriment from Bhagavan Shri Krishna's pranks. Devotees, Gopal is the omniscient. Nothing is hidden from him, I repeat. Gopala, the omniscient, nothing can be hidden from him. He realized that the mother was too tired to move, and he allowed now himself to be caught. What a nice child, eh? Yashoda Ma could not even lift her hand to hit him, to beat him. She caught him firmly by the hand, devotees, and she says, come home, you thief. It wouldn't be nice for me to beat you here in the middle of the bazaar of everyone. I'll teach you a lesson at home. And she drew him now closer to home. There, she dragged him to the side of a huge stone mortar in order now to bind him, to tie him with a strong rope. But the rope was too short, so she went in and she brought another one now to join to that one, to tie it. She had to do this several times again. For however long the rope was, Bhagavan Shri Krishna seemed to grow and grow and grow big so that it would not be able to tie around him. And just a bit more length was always needed to tie him down, you see. But the mother wondered now at this amazing development. To what was the miracle to be ascribed? She didn't know. At last, she somehow tied a knot, and leaving him now bound to this mortar, this big piece of stone, Yashodama went into the house to do her regular chores, regular household duties, devotees. Bhagavan Shri Krishna now, he drew the mortar along and he went into the garden. He was dragging this heavy stone, this little child now. Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. And he went into the garden now with the mortar, that big piece of stone, rolling behind him. There in the garden, a tree grew with two trunks side by side like this, very near to each other. The mortar now caught between the tree trunks, and when Bhagavan Shri Krishna, he gave a slight pull to overcome the obstacle, the tree became uprooted, devotees. As the tree became uprooted, it fell with great resounding noise, and that noise attracted everyone now to Yashoda Ma's house. What was taking place? Where the tree had fallen, even though there was no storm, Yashodama hurried to see what had happened and was astounded at what she saw. Gopal was in the midst of a fallen foliage, all the trees, the branches, between all those branches that were crushed. And Yashodama groaned aloud and went to him. Unloosening, untying the rope now, she carried away the child, and she felt very relieved that he had escaped yet another terrible calamity. She says, "My child, were you frightened? Oh, how wicked I was." The mother wailed aloud, devotees. But while she was lamenting thus, two divine forms, both male, emerged from the root of that tree, and they fell at Gopala's feet. They stood with folded palms and they said, "O Lord, Bhagavan, we are the sons of Kuber, the twin brothers, Nala Kuber and Manigriva. Through the curse of sage Narad Muni, we were turned into this tree and existed as such. This day has seen the end of this curse through your grace, O Bhaktivinoda Bihari Lal. If you permit us, we'll go back to our own place." Then the two divine forms disappeared. Devotees, at the sight of these strange divine forms, the people of Gokula now were taken aback. They were filled with great joy. And though they listened to the glorification of Gopala as God, though they had concrete evidence of his divinity, they relapsed into delusion, into Maya, and they resumed their conversation about Gopala being the son of Nanda and Yashoda. And they felt he was their cowherd friend. They were caught up, you see, in the coils of devotion. My dear brothers and sisters, they were caught up in the coils of illusion, Devotees, the king now, he interposed with a question. He says, "Master," to Sukmuniji, he says, "Master, how did this illusion, this Maya, acquire such overwhelming power? Who endowed illusion with the capacity to hide the glory of Madhava, God himself? What exactly is the real nature of illusion? Please tell me now." Then Sukmuniji explained, "O king, this illusion, this Maya, is not anything separate with its own form. God is discernible only with the sheet of illusion. Meaning, he is evident because he has worn the various objects of illusion. It is his disguise, his upadhi. That is to say, illusion obstructs reality. Illusion obstructs reality. It is nature to hide reality and to make it appear as unreal. Only those who remove it, destroy it, beat it off, cut it across, it is only those who can have that vision of God. Only those can attain God. You see, illusion makes you feel that the non-existent exists. What is not real is there, Maya. It shows the water in the mirage. It also makes you see as truth what is imagined and desired. Yes, delusion can't affect those who are able to give up desire or imagining and planning. Or else how could Yashodama, who has seen the divinity of Bhagavan Shri Krishna on many occasions with her own naked eyes, slide back into the belief that he was just a simple mortal, he was just her son? The imagining, the desire, that was the cause of his delusion. Devotees, the body is of the son and the mother, but the real core, the embodied Dehi, has neither son nor mother. The mother body is related to the son body, you see, but there's no embodied mother or no embodied son. What do we mean by this? If one gets this faith firm in themselves, there can be no more desire for external pleasures, you see. Inquire and investigate, and you will know this truth. The Bhagavat Vahini tells us. Without this inquiry, delusion will grow and the intellect will slowly be subdued. The role that divinity takes upon itself brings about results that are very momentous. Vedanta teaches us that one should penetrate behind the role into the reality. That is the inner meaning. Deluded by the role, people pursue desires. We only go after the things that are glitter and glamorous, not so? And believing the body that is assumed to be real and true, people fall into this illusion, Maya. For those whose attention is concentrated on the body, that person within would never be visible, right? When ashes cover the red coals, they're not visible. When clouds gather thick, the sun and the moon can't be seen. Moss floating thick upon the waters of a lake gives the illusion that it is hard ground over which there's vegetation. When the eye has a cataract over the pupil, here's a good example. When the eye has a cataract over the pupil, one cannot see anything at all. So too, when the notion of the body being reality is predominant, the body, the resident in the body isn't noticed at all. He says, Master, Sukmuniji says, Master, King Parikshit says, Master, this day in truth, the veil has fallen now from my mind. Remember, Sukmuniji now is on his final hours, final minutes of his life before his curse is going to take effect. He says, your teaching has like a gust of wind shaken off the ash over the live cinders. The illusion that this composite of 5 elements, namely this body, is the reality has been totally exploded and exterminated. I am blessed. I am indeed blessed, O Master. Within these words, Maharaj Parikshit now, he fell to the feet of the Guru, Sukhmuniji. The gathering of holy men and sages and common citizens, they all fell into an animated conversation. And when time clicks fast forward now to the end, the body has to get ready to drop. Not so, devotees? Type into your chat windows, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. The body drops when the vital airs stop flowing into it, but the mind won't leave off. For this reason, newer and newer bodies have to be assumed until the mind is rendered empty, devoid of content, and vacant of wants. This day, our Maharaja has differentiated the mind from the body, the King Parikshit. Now he's in such a bliss that even vital airs can't even make any impact on him. He's ready, he's prepared. When the mind is merged ever in God, Madhava, the body will be all divinity. Its humanness cannot be identified. That body is no longer human. The teaching conferred by Sukhmuniji today is not directed only at Parikshit. It is for all of us, they said, including us here on this virtual Yagshala. It is said, for those who are afflicted by the delusion that they are the body, if you believe that you are the body, which you are encased, this type of delusion is what is going to cause bondage. But the other type, the belief that we are the Atma, this is liberation, Atmana Evadium, and that is the goal of life, devotees. This is what the Vedas and the scriptures, the Shastras declare. The mind that welcomes delusion or that entertains the idea that reality is there for the instrument for either bondage or liberation. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. This statement of the revealed scripture Shruti, it's the truth. It says, ruminating this for some time, the people now sat with their eyes closed, lost in prayer. And when the sun was about to set, the sages then walked towards the bank of the sacred Ganges, holding their water pots, their kamandalus and stick in their hands, so that they could perform now their evening rituals. Devotees, a beautiful bhajan tonight as we sing, as we glorify Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Maharaj Parikshit in his final moments now still is yearning for more glories of Bhagavan Shri Krishna from the lips of Sukhmuniji. Let us see now this beautiful bhajan as we sing tonight. Baki Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. The bhajan says, O Lord Krishna, the dawn is here. Play the sweet tunes on your flute, your basuri. The sound of the basuri brings meaning to my life and calms me. Your tunes resound in the forest of Vrindavan and along the banks of the Yamuna. Such soulful music brings much ease along the pathways. No one knows my pains and sufferings, O Lord. O my Shyam, remove my sorrows. Please come, O Lord. Neera's love, remove my sorrows. Bhur bhai baje madhur muraliya. Sing with me, come on. Bhur bhai baje madhur muraliya, kaise dhare jiya dheer re. Bhur bhai baje madhur muraliya, मधुबन बाजे वृंदावन बाजे तत जमुना के तीर बैठे कदम पे बंसी बजाए बैठ कदम पे बंसी बजाए कृपा जमुना तीर रे. सिंह भुर भय बाजे मधुर मुरलिया कैसे ढरे जिया तीर रे. भुर भय बाजे मधुर मुरलिया. दर्द न जाने पीर न जाने शाम भरोसे पी मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर मीरा के जाट अहीर रे. Sing. भुर भय बाजे मधुर मुरलिया, कैसे धरे जिया तीर रे. भुर भय बाजे मधुर मुरलिया. प्रेम से बोलो बाके वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Type into your chat windows, Jai Shri Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Come on everybody, put some hearts out there. Jai Shri Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Now devotees, we turn our attention to living in Krishna consciousness. Again, Maharaj Parikshit is on his final moments. Maharaj Parikshit now, who had achieved the destruction of the agitations caused by desires, and thus he succeeded now in eliminating this mind completely. He was able to separate mind from body. He folded his palms like this and he began to pray now with just one last desire urging on him. He says, Master, to Sukmuniji, listen carefully devotees. He says, time is fast nearing its end. As far as this body is concerned, the culmination of the curse of the sage is rushing fast towards me. I can feel it. Of course, I am prepared in every way now to welcome it most gladly. Nevertheless, as long as I am a resident in this physical habitation, I have vowed to engage myself now in divine thoughts, you see, in his final days, in recapitulation of the divine and listening to the divine. Let that vow not be broken to the slightest degree, O sage. May the short balance of the allotted time be spent in imprinting the charming lotus face of Nandana on my heart, the lovely divine child that has illumined the home of Nanda. May that sportive form fill my consciousness and overflow, conferring upon me immeasurable spiritual bliss. Ananda. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Maharaj Parikshit now, he speaks these powerful words to the sage. He says, Sage, describe to me the shower of auspiciousness that must have marked the hour when Bhagwan Shri Krishna was born. We've heard this Kathaa many times, but devotees, real quick now we'll recap. He says, what miraculous events and happenings revealed to the world that God had come to earth. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkitam dharma sanstharpanathaya sambhavami yuge yure. Radhe Radhe Bhake Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai Shri Krishna. He said, how did Kansa develop a cruel determination to kill the divine child? And how was the determination fanned to raging flames as the days pass? Tell me the stories about the birth of Kansa and Lord Krishna. May this be the blessed by the sacred of the final hour. It will certainly render my breath so holy that I will find a consummation in Gopala. Sukmuniji became even more happier. He says, Maharaj, I am so filled with joy at the prospect of spending the few remaining hours in reciting the wondrous birth and divine sports of Gopala. Gopala took birth for the sake of establishing righteousness, dharma, satya sanatan dharma ki jai. He said that birth is fraught with great mystery. Only those who have become ripe in wisdom through the testing process of divine activity can unravel that mystery and grasp its meaning. For others, the world is just a whirlpool of vile sin. They revel in its depth, they sink and float and finally dissolve themselves in it. We are under no compulsion to spend a thought on such people. Maharaj, long ago, the world was ruled by a king in the Yadu dynasty named Ahuka. A large band of feudatories, meaning those who were always against this king, surrounded his throne and always awaited his orders and paid him reverential homage, seeking peace and prosperity through his beneficent overlordship. He had two sons. What were their names? Their names were Devaka and Ugrasena. When they grew old enough to assume the responsibilities now of administering the kingdom, the king now had them married and placed a share of his own burden upon their heads. Years upon years slipped by, and Devaka had 7 daughters and Ugrasena had 9 sons. Devaki was the eldest of Devaka's daughters, and Kansa was the eldest of Ugrasena's sons. These two played very vital roles, in the story which we are so interested in. In the olden days, Mathura was the capital city of the Yadu dynasty. Within the precincts of the city lived the tributary river of the Yadu, Prince Surasena by name. He had 10 sons and 5 daughters. Vasudeva was his eldest son and Kunti his eldest daughter. These princely families lived side by side and the children grew very close, The flow of time sped very fast and the urge now by the force of history caused epoch-making consequences. Devaki, the daughter of Kansa's paternal uncle, was given in marriage to Vasudeva. The marriage was celebrated on a grand scale. Rulers, kings, emperors, scholars, sages and saints assembled in large numbers, devotees from all over. The city was packed with distinguished princes and personages. Kansa took special interest in dealing out prolific and pompous hospitality to everyone. And he had no sisters of his own. And he loved Devaki as his dearest self. So he dowered her with costly raiment, with costly gifts, jewels and so forth. And everyone now was delighted at the grandeur of the festival. On the third day, the bride had to be sent back to the groom's home with all the customary presents and gifts, etc. So Kansa now himself drove the newlyweds in a magnificent chariot. And when they were driving in a colorful procession through the decorated streets of the city, suddenly there was a brilliant lightning flash over the chariot. There was a blast of terrific sound, as if it would be destroyed, if the world was going to be destroyed by a deluge in one gulp like thunder. And the flash and the blast now, it stunned the prince. Peasants now into pillars of immobility, they became fixed. All music was silenced at that very moment. And in that instance, the silence was broken by a few clear words exploding through the skies, the Akash Vahini as we say. The words were, "O Emperor Kansa, you are behaving like a fool, unaware of coming events. This very sister whom you love as yourself, whom you are now taking so affectionately in this chariot with so much pomp and pleasure, will bear as her 8th child the person who will deal your death. Reflect on that coming calamity." The shining figure that spoke these ominous words disappeared from the sky, and the populace, the princes and the scholars now who listened to the dreadful news of doom, they lost all trace of joy. Kansa was on the chariot now, was filled with the fury of fire. He lost control of himself and was overcome by confusion, and the reins fell off his grasp. His heart was aflame with hate. His thoughts now fled fast into fiercer and fiercer fears. At last, they took a decisive turn. And with the sister alive, the killer would be born. If the sister's life were cut, she couldn't bring forth that son who would deal him his death. So you see how he was thinking now? And thinking this in strain, he lifted his sister from the seat at the back of the chariot, and he grasped her plaited hair, forcing her to stand up, and he pulled out his sharp sword now from its scabbard, and with a vile intention of slicing off her head. Devotees, even their hardest heart recoiled now from that awful sight. What a frightful thing this was. It was such a stunning contrast for him now to try to kill the very sister from whom he loved for so many years and so deeply, and whom he was escorting with such gusto. No one could do anything to avert the disaster. The bridegroom, however, Vasudeva, rose and he held Kansa's hand tightly in his grasp. He says, "Dear brother-in-law, I also heard the voice from the sky. If harm comes to you, we too are sharers, for we don't like any harm to affect you. We pray for your welfare without intermission. We shall never seek to inflict injury on you. It is not proper for a brother like you to indulge in a grievous disaster when everyone is reveling in joy. Release your sister. Come on, man." He says, "If you have such firm faith in that voice that declare that you would suffer death from the child that is to be born, I solemnly assure you, O Kansa, that I will entrust every child that is born to your care. I swear I shall do so. And let me tell you, this will solve your fear. On the other hand, if you become a party to the slaughter of your sister while my offer is here, it will bring about disaster to you and the kingdom as a reaction to this monstrous sin." Devotees, when Vasudeva pleaded now, thus most piously, Kansa felt a little relieved, realizing that there was still some validity in what his brother-in-law was saying. He loosened his hold on Devaki's hair and let her fall to her seat. He said, "Well, be warned, keep your word, which you just gave me." Kansa told his younger brother to take charge of the reins and return to his palace. Of course he returned. But he was torn between the fear of death and affection for his sister. Though his bed was made of soft feathers, devotees, he suffered as if he laid on a bed of hot coals. He had no appetite, no inclination of sleep. Could you imagine what was going through his mind? He was plunged into the terror of death. Plunged into the terror of death. Devotees, Kansa spent 1 full year in this state of mind. The brother-in-laws were in constant contact with each other because of this. Devotees, meanwhile, Devaki became pregnant, and in the 9 months, drew very close, she delivered a son. "I gave my word to save your life," said Vasudeva to Devaki, when he handed the newborn babe, rolled in warm clothing, to the tender mercies now of Kansa. However, Kansa had no mind to kill the tender babe, and was delighted that his brother-in-law had actually kept his word. He said, "My dear brother-in-law, this baby can cause me no harm because it's the first. The voice from the sky warned me only against the 8th child. Therefore, take back this child." Thus, Vasudeva got the baby alive and placed it in Devaki's hands. The mother was very happy, like any mother, that her firstborn was restored back to her. Devotee, she poured out her heart in gratitude to God for this blessing, and she conceived again And the parents were afflicted with grief at the fear now. Kansa, what he might do to the child. They wanted children but dreaded the fate that might befall them. Meanwhile, the sage Narad, who roamed wide from world to world, singing the praises of God, he appeared in Kansa's court, and he asked the emperor, he says, whether he was well and whether the kingdom was safe and prosperous. And during that conversation, Narad Muni revealed that the Yadavas were gods. They were gods come as men, and that Kansa was an incarnation of Kal Nemi, a famous demon. You all remember Kal Nemi from Ramayana? He said that Devaki's 8th son would definitely undermine the brood of demons and shall be destroyer of Kansa's life. This was like pouring oil onto a hot fire, devotees. Not contented with this now, he said, while taking leave of Kansa, take every day that you manage to live as equal to as a decade or more. Don't regard death only as a distant contingency. Hearing this warning now, Kansa was plunged into deeper anxiety. He feared that even little babies might bring about his death. So he sent word to Vasudeva to come to him. And poor Vasudeva now came shivering like a mortal dread, lest some dire calamity now might descend upon his head. And when he put in his appearance, Kansa flew into a rage, and he roared to the question, how many children do you have now? And Vasudeva had no tongue to answer. He was overpowered by the fear that something terrible is about to happen. His lips began to quiver, and as he replied, now, he says, now, King, I have 6. Kansa now yelled, well, tomorrow morning at dawn, you better bring all 6 of those children and hand them over to me. Vasudeva could not utter a single reply, and he had to honor his word. You see, prana jai par bachana na jai. But attachment to his offspring drew him back, like any one of us, any parent on this broadcast tonight. He moved as if he was but a corpse that had managed to be alive. And he came to Devaki Nandana and said, who was fondling the 6 sons on her lap. When he told her that Kansa had asked for the 6 sons to be given over to him, she held them fast and embraced and suffered the agony. And she began now to pass imagination. Maharaja, King Parikshit says, for the sake of prolonging one single life, see how many innocent lives are sacrificed, you see? You may wonder, why is this horrid sin? But who can unravel the mystery of the divine? To the outward eye, it appears to be unpardonable infanticide. The inner eye may perceive it in the fruition of the sins committed by those babies in the past. Maybe that's their karma or the culmination of some other curse. It may very well be their passing into a superior level of birth. Who knows what lies in the recesses in the past and the caves of their future? Who knows why they were even born, why they live and why they die? The world observes only the interval between birth and death, only with that limited period. But the master and sovereign of all worlds, past, present and future, doesn't know that. He has more compassion than all men. He showers grace, weighing the 3 tenses of time, the 3 tiers of space, and the 3 traits of character. He knows best more than any person. So the one only recourse for people is to believe that everything is His will, to be at peace, and to immerse themselves into the contemplation of His glory and grace. Prem se bolo Bhaktivinoda Bihari Lal ki Jai, Radhe Radhe. Type it into your chat windows. Come on. Maharaja, King Parikshit now, he says, the next day, as soon as the sun rose, Vasudeva took the children, most unwillingly. Listen carefully what's going to happen, devotees. And with the help of attendants now, with his eyes firmly closed, and he handed over those children, those 6 children, to the Kansa. The ego-centered maniac caught hold of each of them by the legs, devotees, and he beat them out of shape on the hard floor. Helpless to interfere in preventing the killing, the unfortunate Vasudeva now retracted his steps home with a very heavy heart. Could you imagine his heart? Lamenting over the gigantic sin that brought about this woeful recompense. The royal couple now wasted their body through the terrific agony, and they underwent it, bore it silently together. Every moment of living was an unbearable burden, and God's will must prevail. Let me give you a real life example, devotees. Many years ago, my late Aji, who I lived with for several years in Toronto, Canada, at my Uncle Mohan's home, at one point, my eldest aunt, her name was Auntie Baste from Diego Martin in Trinidad. She took ill and she passed away. And my Aji had to go to Trinidad and, of course, witness her daughter cremate her daughter, so to speak, then. And upon her return back from Trinidad to Toronto, within 6 months, I watched my Aji every single day grieve for her daughter. And the sorrowful words and tears would flow from her eyes every single day. I can still picture, I can still hear her in my heart as my heart bleeds for her. As what pain it is to lose a child, for a mother especially to lose a child, for a mother to bury or to cremate her own child. Here we have 6 children being destroyed by that wicked, evil Kansa. Devotees, God's will must prevail, Sukunji says. One has to live as long as life lasts. They console themselves, the two parents. Toughened by this feeling now, they were dissolving their strength and physique in the stream of tears and grief that endured. Devotees, a beautiful bhajan tonight as we sing. Tonight, I need to ask you for your permission. We are probably going to run a few minutes over 9 o'clock tonight because of the length of this katha. But we will get done. And I want you to please stay on because we are in for a treat. Like I told you, this is the nectar. This is the amrit. This is the essence of Bhagavat Vahini tonight. We are about to read this beautiful, beautiful bhajan tonight. It says, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I want you to clap and sing. Oh Lord, you have taken away my looks, my identity by just my glance. You took away all my ornaments by looking into my eyes, by making me drink the wine from the love of devotion. You have intoxicated me by just a glance. My fair, delicate wrists with green bangles now in them have been taken off by you with just a glance. I give you my life. Oh, my cloth dyer, you have dyed me in yourself just by this glance. Come on, devotees, sing with me. Clap your hands, come on, sing. Mose naina naina naina, Mose naina naina naina, Mose naina naina naina, Mose naina naina. Sing it me. Mose naina naina naina, Mose naina naina naina, Mose naina naina naina, Mose naina naina naina. Oh, चाप तिलक सब छीनी रे मुझसे नैना मिलाए के. चाप तिलक सब छीनी से मोरे नैना मिलाए के. नैना मिलाए के मोहे नैना मिला के. नैना मिला के मोहे नैना मिला के. चाप तिलक सब छीनी रे मुझसे नैना मिलाए के. चाप तिलक सब छीनी रे मुझसे नैना मिलाए के. प्रेम भक्ति का माधव पैल की. प्रेम भक्ति का माधव पैल की. मतवाली कर ली रे मुझसे नैना मिलाए के. हो चाप तिलक सब छीनी रे मुझसे नैना मिलाए के. गोरी गोरी बैया हरी हरी चूड़िया. गोरी गोरी बैया हरी हरी चूड़िया. भैया पकड़ हर ली नीरे मुझसे नैना मिलाए के. हो चाप तिलक सब छीनी रे मुझसे नैना मिलाए के. पल पल जाऊं मैं तोरे तोरे रजवा. पल पल जाऊं मैं तोरे तोरे रजवा. अपनी से संग रंग दीनी से मोरे नैना मिलाए के. हो अपनी से रंग दीनी से मुझसे नैना मिलाए के. नैना मिलाए के मुझसे नैना मिला के. नैना मिलाए के मुझसे नैना मिला के. चाप तिलक सब छीनी से मुझसे नैना मिलाए के. हो चाप तिलक सब छीनी रे मुझसे नैना मिलाए के. नैना मिलाए के. नैना मिलाए के. प्रेम से बोलो कि वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. राधे राधे. A beautiful katha, the conclusion tonight, devotees. Prem se bolo ki Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Type it to your chat windows. Jai Shri Krishna. Come on. Please pardon me. Now, devotees, after Kansa destroyed the 6 children, the 7th pregnancy now came. Unsurprisingly, it was aborted in the 7th month. Should they inform Kansa? If yes, how? They couldn't find the answer. When Kansa now learned about this, he suspected that the sister was capable of some stratagem to deceive him. So he put her and her husband in a closely guarded prison. A prison cell, imagine this. His own sister and brother-in-law. The sage Sukhmuniji started telling about the most glorious event now, which revealed the reality of the Krishna incarnation. Devaki and Vasudeva, who spent their days in prison, were indistinguishable from a mad person. They looked like they were crazy, like they were going insane. And they sat with very unkempt hair and dirty clothes, you know. unclean and lanky throughout. They were very thin, lacking of appetite. And they were now unable to feed their bodies. They had no mind to sleep or to eat because they were so distraught. They were slowly consumed by grief over the children that they had lost. And devotees, when their prison life now entered its second year, Devaki conceived now for the 8th time. Here comes child number 8, the 8th incarnation. It was wondrous. What a transformation it brought. It was about the faces of Devaki and Vasudeva now, which had dropped and dried, suddenly blossomed like beautiful lotuses in bloom. They shone with great splendor. And devotees, if I can now, their bodies, which were reduced to mere skin and bone, as if they had been dehydrated, it began to take flesh now. It became round and smooth and shone with a charming golden hue. Devaki's cell was fragrant with pleasing aromas. Devotees, let me explain tonight. This cell, this jail cell, still exists today in Mathura in India. I've been there many times. Let me tell you about some of my experiences in visiting this cell where Lord Krishna was born. As you walk up the stairs, there's a temple, beautiful temple that's built there in Mathura over the cell now. As you walk up the stairs, I recall this very, very first hand. And this is my honest experience. I experience every single time I go there. And as you walk up now, so when you're about now to enter into the jail, you have to go down into the cellar, into the jail. And you touch the wall of that jail cell like this with your hands. And you start thinking of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. You know when you touch an electric circuit with your hands, if it's wet, that electricity that comes into your hands, that is the energy that is felt in that cell in Mathura, devotees, in that jail cell where Bhagavan Shri Krishna was born. Prem se bolo ba ke Vrindavan, Bihari Lal ki Jai Radhe Radhe. That energy, devotees, the energy in that cell is still there. Today our Lord was born there. Prem se bolo Vrindavan, Bihari Lal ki Jai. Devotees, Devaki and Vasudeva now, amazing sights and sounds were being heard, devotees, as Bhagavan Shri Krishna is about to make his entry. Prem se bolo ba ke Vrindavan, Bihari Lal ki. Radhe, Radhe. They were anxious, devotees, about the strange future of the son that would be born, and their restlessness now became even more. Devaki and Vasudeva, they were aware now of the happenings and were afraid to even inform Kansa, lest he would hack the womb of Devaki into pieces for his vindictive frenzy. He knew his time was fast rushing towards its end, and he was torn by greed to continue unquestioned as the emperor in this realm. He was overcome by conspirational inclination. He overran the territories of the Yadu, Vrishni, Bhoja, and Andhaka, and added them to his domain. He was greedy, he was hungry. He was so intent on establishing his dictatorial regime that he threw his old age father, Ugrasena, into prison as well. And thereafter, his will was sovereign. No one can stop him. And when Sukhmaniji told the story to Parikshit, Parikshit interrupted. Alas, what folly is this? Knowing well that his end was near, knowing that the 8th pregnancy was about to take place, the person who was to destroy him was growing fast, knowing that the voice that spoke from the heavens, the Akash, could not be untrue, Kansa still resolved now upon these acts to inordinate greed and unspeakable wickedness all across the universe. This is unbelievable. Sukhmaniji now burst into laughter. Maharaj utilized the time at their disposal in seeking to realize the vision of him who is the embodiment of time. But yearning as such, a yearning like yours, O Parikshit, can only arise as of the consequence of favorable balance of merits acquired in your previous life and from the blessings as from your ancestors. You see, this is where Pitrupaksh, worship to the ancestors, come in. Pitrudev Sarva Pitrai Namaha. May the blessings of our Pitris always be with us. Devotees, the Kathaa continues. It says, only thoughts of God and urges to do sanctifying deeds will emerge during the last days for those who are equipped with the divine virtues of eagerness to do good and to have good thoughts, faith in God, compassion towards all beings, contrition for swerving from the straight path, truth, non-violence, and love. And on the other hand, those who are immersed in selfishness, egotism, greed, vice, violence, and unrighteousness will suffer in their last days from evil urges and will destroy themselves. They will self-destruct. Devotees, the onlooker sees the same consummation, death. But the goal reaches distinct and invisible only to those around them. You see, the goal is determined by the thoughts that arise in the mind of the dying. I repeat, Bhagavad Gita tells us this. The goal is determined by the thoughts that arise in the mind of those who are dying. Destruction of life is common. The sight darshan of God is something to be won, to be earned. That is unique. It is a proverb. When disaster is imminent, the intellect becomes perverted. I repeat, when disaster is imminent, the mind starts to work, the intellect is perverted. Vinasha kale viprita buddhi. Only those who are about to be destroyed will get and welcome evil intentions. Those who are to be blessed with the vision of God will hold fast in their last thoughts to the pure and elevation of Bhagwan. When Sukhmanuji spoke these words in all sincerity, the King Parikshit now says, no, this isn't the result of my effort or consequence or merit acquired in my previous lives. The fruit of the goodness of my grandfathers, devotees listen, Pitrupaksha again, the fruit of the goodness of my grandfathers and my fathers, my forefathers, is directing me along the correct path. We praise our Pitris tonight. May they always be with the company of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Sarva Pitrudevaya Namaha. More than all, the illumination shed by the gems of wisdom, like yours, O Sukhmanuji, are consecrating the effect of the grace of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. And of course, the association of one is privileged or compelled to share his promotional or adverse effect. Luckily, since the moment of birth, God's grace has been my guide and guardian. Our Pitris again, you see. I was shaped and sustained by association with good men, my ancestors, comradeship with just and moral people, acquaintance with great scholars, and inspiration of the magnanimous deeds of my illustrious foreparents. Devotees, he continues, I will also acknowledge the help rendered by the wise and discriminating ministers who served as my right hand and earned and enjoyed the love and reverence of all my subjects. This could never be the consequence of my efforts. However excellent the seed, if the field is infertile, can the harvest be plentiful? I repeat the question tonight. Sukhmanuji says, however excellent the seed, if the field is infertile, can that harvest ever be plentiful? What is the answer? Type it into your chat windows. However high my ideals are, if my kingdom had no high tradition laid down by my ancestors, no sages and scholars to instruct and inspire, no ministers to execute and elaborate in action, no subjects to appreciate and act the ideals, they could only be like vessels of milk spoiled by drops of acid curd, right? Had it not been for them, my ideals would have all evaporated. And I would have imbibed the vices of people who flatter me and become another kind-hearted, another hard-hearted Kansa. So I conclude that Kansa's sinful acts have attributed to a certain extent to the vices inherent in scholars, in ministers and subjects of Kansa's kingdom. And of course, you are most competent to pronounce upon the correctness of this inference. Well, why should I waste the few remaining hours of my life in seeking faults in others? You see? Don't judge others. Why should I waste the few remaining hours of my life in seeking faults in others or causing analyzing their consequences? It is best that I sanctify every second of my life. Tell me, Master, about the holy moment of birth when my breath Gopal appeared upon this earth. Praying thus, Parikshit now fell at Sukhmanuji's feet and he sat up with his eyes closed, eager to listen. He was yearning in happy expectation now to learn from Sukhmanuji the amazing mystery of the birth. Sukhmanuji told the story, Maharaj. The fetus of the seventh pregnancy was taken and transferred to the womb of Vasudev's other wife, Rohini by name, who was in Gokula under the protection of Nanda. This was done so that child could grow into a companion and helpmate for Gopala. Rohini gave birth to a son whose name was Balarama by Garga, the family's preceptor. Since the child was extraordinarily strong in body and charmed everyone by his innocence and intelligence, since he was transferred from Devaki's womb to Rohini, he was also named Samkarshana. He is the one who attracts. Meanwhile, the 9 months of the eighth pregnancy were now complete. Devaki and Vasudev held their lives in the grasp of their palms. They were agonizing over what might happen at any moment and when would that delivery take place. What would Kansa do to punish them or to destroy the enemy he feared? They sat helpless devotees in great anguish, without food or without sleep. You know, when Kansa learned that the 9 months had passed, he took extra precautions to see that the child did not escape him. What did he do? He ordered Vasudeva and Devaki to be shackled now with chains on their hands and feet. He locked the doors of the prison with every more formidable contrivances, and he placed larger number, even more alert and able guards around that prison. He arranged that once every 5 minutes, the guards must go in and check to satisfy themselves that the inmates were in the prison walls. Kansa was ceaselessly worried now and anxious about the birth and what is about to happen to him. Devotees, but who can hinder the inscrutable operation of the will of God? Who can stop the will of God? Can the divine mystery be penetrated or unraveled? Fools who cannot grasp the truth, who cannot recognize divinity and measure the power of God, who have no faith in God, live in the delusion that their petty plans will save them and they can triumph through their own efforts. Don't be fooled, devotees. Don't be fooled. You see, the fact is that not even the smallest success can be won without God's grace. Not even a blade of grass can move without the grace of God. Though true, we shouldn't sit with folded hands believing that the thing will get accomplished if and when God wills. Human effort is essential, and man himself must make a trial, make an effort. He must use the strength and skill with which he is endowed to resolve and to go ahead with the work, laying the responsibility for the success of God. But without the grace of God, every single effort will be fruitless. One night, lying on the floor of the prison room, Devaki developed labor pains now. Devotees, it's about to happen. Our Lord is about to arrive. She fixed her mind now on God and looked intently at the flame of the little oil lamp, anxiously asking herself, what will happen to me? What lies in the future for me? Suddenly the flame of that lamp went out with darkness filled the entire cell, and she beheld an effulgent form casting a strange splendor standing before her with a Sudarshan chakra, and she wondered who it might be. She called on Vasudeva, afraid now it might be Kansa in that shape. She was lost in confusion and doubt about the identity of the phenomenon that was standing before her. Suddenly the form became clear. It was armed with the conchs, the discus, and the mace, and the fourth hand was held in the have no fear, abhaya pose, the mudra. It said softly and sweetly these words, don't grieve. I am Narayana. I am to be born in a few moments as your son, with the intent to wipe away all your travails, in answer to the promise I made to you when you visualized me as a result of your earnest asceticism. Don't be anxious about me, but witness the drama that is about to be staged. In all 14 worlds, there is no one born or to be born who can inflict on me the least harm. Be assured of that. Even when some little anxiety affects you as a consequence of affection for the child that you are born and the delusion of forging in the mind, you'll be able to witness immediately miracles that will reveal my nature. Prem se bolo Bhakti Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. No sooner I am born than the shackles will fall off your hands and feet. The doors of the prison will open by themselves. Take me from here without anyone's knowledge to Nanda's home in Gokula. And place me by the side of his wife Yashoda, who is having labor pains at this very moment. Bring back to the prison the baby girl that she is to deliver and keep her with you. Then send word to Kansa. Until he gets the news, no one either in Mathura or Gokula will notice you or apprehend you. I shall arrange it. I shall make sure of it. He shone in divine splendor, Lord Vishnu did, devotees. Blessing Devaki and Vasudev, he entered Devaki's womb as an orb of light. And within minutes, the child was born. Prem se bolo Bhakti Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. The time was 3:30 a.m. The auspicious hour of Brahma Muhurat. The divine power to delude brought sleep. Sudden log-like now on all the guards, they fell asleep, and everyone on watch. They fell in their places as they were caught in a deep sleep. The thick iron chains that bound Vasudev's hands and feet fell off in a trice. The doors and the gates just flew open, and though it was the darkest hour of the night, the cuckoo cooed, and a sudden spurt of joy. Parrots announced heavily the happiness they felt, and the stars twinkled, for each of them now was smiling and in joy. Our Lord is arrived. The rain god showered flower drops of rain on the earth below, and around the prison flocks of birds clustered in happy song, tweeting and twittering now sweet melodies. Vasudev now realized that this was all the manifestation and the charm of Bhagwan. He turned towards the newborn child and was astounded what he saw. Was it true? He asked himself. Or was it just a mental illusion? He fixed now to the spot like a pillar for Maharaj. Encircling the baby was a brilliant halo of light. The baby laughed outright, seeing his mother and father, and appeared that the baby was about to speak. Yes, they heard the words, now without delay, take me to Gokula. This is the word, these words came out of the baby's mouth. Now without delay, take me to Gokula. Lord Vishnu was speaking here via the incarnation of Bhagavan Krishna. Vasudeva did not tarry, devotees. He spread an old dhoti on a bamboo mat and placed the baby on it. He tore the scarf of an old sari of Devaki and covered the baby with it. Then he moved out of the open doors and gates, past the sleeping guards, and he noticed now the little drops of rain that fell from the sky. And he was sad that the newborn child would soon become soaked and maybe get a little fever, But when he turned back, he found that there was a big hooded snake, Adi Shesha, Sheshnag, following his footstep, preventing the rain from wetting the baby like a hood, like an umbrella, holding the ribbed umbrella now of its hood over the child. Blessed indeed. At every step along the road, Vasudeva noticed auspicious and favorable signs. The sun had not yet risen, but the lotuses bloomed in all of the wells and ponds and lead towards Vasudeva on their stalks. When the presence of God is there, devotees, all creatures come forward. They bow their heads in reverence. Though it was night, no, without expectation of moonlight, perhaps to the yearning to have a look at the divine baby. The full moon now peeped, Chandrama peeped through the clouds, its cool rays illumined now on the bamboo mat on which this baby Krishna lay along the entire route, providing that light for him. The baby that was attracted and all auspiciousness was placed very carefully and safely in Nanda's home, and the child that has just been born there was brought now, placed into Devaki's hands. No sooner than this was done, Vasudeva burst into tears. He could not stop crying. Devotees, even while these words came from his lips, Parikshit exclaimed, Krishna, 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 and everyone turned towards him, devotees. Before we go into the final minutes now of Parikshit ji, let me just speak about this one for a second here. When Kansa, as you know the story very well, when he came in now to the jail cell after that sun rose in the morning, and he was shown the baby, and he saw it was a girl, he became very angry. He says, this is the 8th child that's going to meet my demise. And he lifted up that baby girl by her feet like this, and he threw her out of the window. And as he threw that baby out of the window, that little girl, that baby materialized into whom? She's coming tomorrow. Jagadambe Bhavani Shankarma. What did she say to him? She says, oh, you fool, your demise is met. Your destroyer has been born, and he's elsewhere. He's safely elsewhere. Mark my words, your end is near. Devotees, how auspicious indeed for us to end on this high note tonight. As we speak about Pitrupaksh, we speak about the King Kansa ji, we speak about the birth of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, and we speak about Durga Mata in this instant, speaking to that Rakshas, telling him, your end is near, you are doomed. Prem se bolo Jagadambe Bhavani Shankar Mata ki Jai. Devotees, now, as these words came out of the lips of Parikshit, all he could say was, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Everyone, their attention now turned towards him. And what did they see? What did they see, devotees? Here's the nectar of the Kathaa tonight, the beauty of this Kathaa. They saw a little snake crawling away from Parikshit after biting the king on his right toe. It was clear now to all that the end of Maharaj had come. Everyone echoed Parikshit's words and repeated, Krishna, 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 Dwarkavasa, Brindavan Vihara. And the vast gathering now had no other thought other than God in their minds, no other word than the name of God. Maharaja fell to the floor, repeating the name of Krishna. Men who were learned in the Vedas, they began to recite Vedic prayers from the scriptures. Devotees sang and chanted the glory of God in chorus. Ascetics and sages were sunk in the repetition of the name and meditation of Krishna. Sukhmuniji began to shed tears, not physical tears, but tears of inner bliss. He said, the Maharaja has reached Gopala. What did he say? The Maharaja has reached Gopala. He asked now for the funeral rites to be undertaken, and he went away very slowly without even being noticed. Devotees, incidentally, the word Sukha means parrot. Yes, he was the parrot that plucked the ripe nectar-filled fruit called Bhagavata from the tree of the Vedas and enabled the world, you and I, over the past few months to taste it and be nourished by it. May the world relish the fruit, the strength itself through, and derive the atmic bliss that it can conquer. May humanity attain the Lord Nanda Ananda, Nanda Nandana. And tonight, this concludes our recitation of Srimad Bhagavat Vahini from the lips of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. It is my sincere hope and prayer that these past few months of the recitation of this Bhagavat Vahini has in some way enlightened you, enlightened your minds, so that it has brought you a sense of spiritual awareness as we dealt with how to live in your last days, your final days, as King Parikshit did by example, and enhanced our love for the divine. May the blessings of Bhake Bindravan, Biharilal, Bhagwan Sri Krishna, Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, and yes, all of our ancestors, wherever they are, may always be upon one and all. May we always learn to love all and serve all selflessly, help ever and hurt never. Prem Simul Bhake Bindravan, Biharilal ki Jai Umapati Mahadev ki, Jai Satya Sanatan Dharma ki, Jai Prabhu Ramachandra Bhagavan ki, Jai Pavanaputra Hanuman ki, Jai Prem se bolo Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba ji ki, Jai. Tonight, In our final bhajan, before we go into growing pearls of kindness, let me, and there are quite a few announcements to be made tonight. Many invitations of events coming up. Please stay tuned here for the next few minutes as we sing this beautiful bhajan. The bhajan says, when you have a companion like God, oh man, when you have a companion like God, Parikshit Maharaj knew this very well, not even the storms and tornadoes can harm you. Even the sky moved beyond reach and the earth merged into the ocean. And even if the entire world is lost in the laps of tornadoes, yet the onward march of God's friend could never be stopped. Upon whose head is placed the countless hands of God, no one can harm him. And by the power of God's name, even the mountains can be transformed into a blade of grass, or it can crumble and become dust. Tonight, I ask all of you, please join with me as we sing this beautiful bhajan. Prem se bolo Bhagavat Vahini Bihari Lal ki Jai.
जिसका साथी है भगवान, उसको क्या रोकेगा आंधी और तूफान। जिसका साथी है भगवान, उसको क्या रोकेगा आंधी और तूफान। जिसका साथी है भगवान। Clap your hands and sing with me, come on. जिसके शीश पे हाथ हजारों, छू न कोई पाएगा। हरि नाम से ये पर्वत भी तिनका बन जाएगा, धूल में मिल जाएगा। ओ जिसका साथी है भगवान, उसको क्या रोकेगा आंधी और तूफान। जिसका साथी है भगवान। राधे राधे। जय श्री कृष्ण। गगन दूर हो जाए ज़मीं, चाहे सागर में धंस जाए। तूफानों की गोद में चाहे सारा जग खो जाए, पावन रुकने पाए। ओ जिसका साथी है भगवान, उसको क्या रोकेगा आंधी और तूफान। जिसका साथी है भगवान, जिसका साथी है भगवान, जिसका साथी है भगवान।
Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Radhe Radhe. Now devotees, of course, it's time for silent sitting, growing pearls of kindness, children's series. Remember, very important announcements coming up. Please stay tuned now. Let us go into some meditation. We sit upright. If you're on the floor, please cross your legs. If you're on a chair, please sit with your back straight, upright. Put your hands on your laps like this, facing up on your palms, up on top of your laps. Take a deep breath in, exhale, we chant 3 times, we chant Om, then we chant 21 recitations of Mahamantra, Om Namah Shivaya. Om, Om, Om. Now, 21 times the Panchakshariya mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Prem se bolo Mahapati Mahadeva ki jai. Let a feeling of love grow into your hearts and let it spread all through you tonight. Think of someone you know who is ill or hurt and send this love to them. Let your love spread further and further and further. Say to your parents, your siblings and those around you, I know that God is always with me, everywhere and everything. I understand that what I think, what I do and what I say has an effect on others as well as myself, and that every being needs love and kindness. I will choose to be kind to you, to everyone, to all the animals, the plants and planet Earth, to all the creatures everywhere. Now bring your attention back to where you are. Open your eyes and stretch. Smile at the person next to you. Rub the palms of your hands together like this. Generate some heat. And then place those palms over your eyelids like this. Cover them. Let that heat transmit over into your eyes. That is yoga. Tonight Pandit Keshav is at his mom's house and he will be hopefully join us soon. Devotees, it's time for Growing Pearls of Kindness, our children's series. The stories, although geared for children, are loaded with great teachings and lessons for all. It is my hope that these stories will instill faith and remind our younger generation that they are God's children and we are their earthly guardians to be kind and to make a positive difference in our world. Children, how are you growing with your pearls, growing pearls of kindness at home? I understand school in Trinidad has reopened. I assume Guyana and Suriname as well. Please be careful. Make sure you're vaccinated and wear your masks and sanitize, okay? Tonight, a beautiful story. There was once a beautiful peacock, beautiful bird, who always was like dancing on rainy days, you know. And while he was busy admiring his feathers, beautiful plumage, his rough voice reminded him of his own shortcomings. All the joy, was beaten out of him. He was almost in tears. And suddenly, he heard a nightingale singing beautifully nearby. And listening to the nightingale's sweet voice, his own shortcomings once again, became very evident. He began wondering, why was he jinxed in such a manner? At that moment, Narad Muni appeared and addressed the peacock. Why are you so upset, Mr. Peacock? Asked Narad Muni. The peacock complained about his rough voice and how he was so sad because of it. After listening to the peacock, Naraji explained, every living being is special in his or her own way. They are made in a certain manner that serves a greater purpose. Yes, the nightingale is blessed with a beautiful voice, but you are also blessed with such beautiful and glittering plumage, feathers. The trick is acceptance and making the most of what you have. Beautiful story indeed. Questions and personal reflections tonight. How did you feel as you listened to the story tonight? What did you see or think of when you look into the mirror each day, each morning? Ask yourself this question tonight. Do we just look for gray hairs? Or in my case, how much hair is left on the head? Or do we admire the beautiful person that God has created to serve humanity selflessly that is in front of us? How many times in the last 24 hours have we called upon God or called His name or any name? Do you thank Him in any way? Or was it just to ask for something? God, help me, boy. Yeah? Devotees, the 9 nights of Navratri, which begin as of tomorrow night, should be used to shed the 9 negative qualities in us, which one of them is Abhiman, pride or ego, which is what Kansa had. Burn it and burn it in that sacred fire during the Navratri period. Remember, stay simple, stay humble, and always be approachable. I repeat, stay simple, stay humble, and always be approachable. Love all, serve all, our motto. Tonight, let's add another act of kindness and continue growing those strands of pearls. I want you to say to everyone in this broadcast tonight and around you, I love you. Type it into your chat windows. Come on, type it in. I love you, everyone. And as you do that tonight, think of what will you put into practice. What will you take away and put into practice? Chidananda Rupaha, Shivoham, Shivoham. Now, take this opportunity tonight. I take this opportunity tonight to wish you all a very safe, and hope you had a very safe and blessed Pitru Paksh period. Pitru Paksh ends at 7:04 in the morning. Tomorrow, of course, first night of Navratri, and I would not be broadcasting live tomorrow. I'll be traveling. However, from Thursday night through Saturday night, I will be in Tampa Bay, Florida, at the Sri Vishnu Mandir. If you are in the Tampa, Orlando, Fort Myers, Sarasota area, please join me at the Vishnu Mandir in Tampa, downtown Tampa. I'll be there from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. And then from Sunday the 10th, all the way to Thursday, October the 14th, at the Devi Mandir in Pickering, Ontario, Canada. Please, I look forward to seeing all of you there. Remember, Durga Ashtami is on Wednesday, October 13th, and we will be celebrating Durga Ashtami with burning of 108 dry coconuts on an outdoor Havan Kund at the Pickering Devi Mandir on Wednesday. We'll also be performing Kanya Puja on that day. And Houston, Texas. I will be in Houston, Texas on the weekend of October 15th. There'll be some flyers out very shortly. More than likely, we'll be at the Sanatan Dharam Mandir there on Sunday morning. And then on the weekend of October 30th, I will be in New York City. Stay tuned for more information. I will give you more information on where we will have satsangs or pujas. Tonight, devotees, let me wish all those who have celebrated their birthdays this past week, and to my little niece Ashirya, the daughter of Raj and Meera Ramsuk, we say to you happy birthday. I believe she celebrated her birthday this past weekend. And to those of you celebrating birthdays, anniversaries this week, past week, we say to you happy birthday, happy anniversary. Tonight as we stand, those of us prepared for Arati, we sing Bhagavat Arati, and then we go right into our Visarjan. Once again, please join me starting from Thursday night for Navratri Yagya. Tonight I want to thank all of you for joining from near and far, from all the different continents, all the different countries, and you're very, very faithful, very loyal devotees who join Shivoham week after week, as we have now completed. What a blessing it is indeed. We have completed our Bhagavat Vahini, and I say to all of you, blessings to each and every one of you. Indeed. Prem se bolo Baki Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Om Sajan Javacha Samayuktam Mahina Yojitam Maya Deepam Grahana Devasya Trailokyam Timidapaham Yanikani Chapapani Janmayantarkitani Chaha Tani Tani Vinashanti Pradakshanam Pare Pare. जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला, नव ज्योति जगाने वाला, हरि गान यही वरदान यही जग मंगल की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत पापों को मिटाने वाला, हरि दर्शन दिखाने वाला, हर सुख करनी है दुख हरनी, ये मधुर सुदन की आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। ये मधुर बोल जग पंद खोल सन्मार्ग दिखाने वाला, बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला, श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही सबकी महिमा की आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। Let's go right into now Kathaa विसर्जन हो तो है, सुनो हो वीर हनुमान, राम लक्ष्मण जानकी सदा करो कल्याण। कथा विसर्जन होत है, सुनो वीर हनुमान, रामा लक्ष्मण जानकी सदा करो कल्याण। एक घड़िया दो घड़ी दो में पुनियार, तुलसी संघट साधिके
होते अपराध। ओ जो जन जहां से आए हो, जो जन जहां से आए हो, सुनो मन लाए, अपने अपने ध्यान को विदा होत हर्षाए। श्रोता सब आसन गए, भुगए कैलाश, रामायण मम हृदय महान, मान करहु तुम पार। रामा लक्ष्मण जानकी, भरत शत्रुघ्न भाई, कथा विसर्जन होतु है, एक शनवाय। अन्य घड़ी महायाद की, होठ हरिनाम, नर के कौन्य कलाइए, जरी गई ये वहाँ जाए। प्रेम से बोलवा के वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूतिं, परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं, परमात्मा इष्टार्थ मोक्ष प्रदातं, बाबा विभूतिं इदमाश्रयामि। परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूतिं, परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं। प्रेम से बोलवा के वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। नाउ फॉर फाइनल भजन, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय। लेट अस चैंट। प्रेम से बोलो उमापति महादेव की। Clap your hands, come on, sing with me. प्रेम से बोलो with love. ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। शिव रामेश्वरा, शिव रामेश्वरा, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। शिव गंगाधरा, शिव गंगाधरा, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। शिव जटाधरा, शिव जटाधरा, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। शिव सोमेश्वरा, शिव सोमेश्वरा, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। शिव विश्वेश्वरा, शिव विश्वेश्वरा, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। शिव कोटेश्वरा, शिव कोटेश्वरा, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। महाकालेश्वरा, महाकालेश्वरा, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय। समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु। ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम। प्रेम से बोलो गजानन स्वामी की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय, बांके वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। प्रेम से बोलो पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय, श्री देवी भवानी शंकर माता की जय, भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय। जय जय सीताराम सब कोई। Devotees, blessings to each and every one of you. Thank you all again so much for joining this evening, for being part of this beautiful final episode of Bhagavat Vahini, as we have been doing this for the past few months. I thank you. I hope and pray that the blessings would be upon you and your family. And as you begin your Navratri fasting from tomorrow and your auspicious worship to Mother Durga, the Devis, let us now rid our minds, bodies and souls of these 9 negative qualities that exist in all of us. This is what Navratri is about. Please tune in from Thursday night, as I'll be broadcasting my yajnas nightly, each session starting from Thursday the 7th, okay? From Tampa for the first 3 nights, and then from the Devi Mandir in Toronto, Canada for the final 5 nights of Navratri. With this I say to you, thank you again. Don't forget, love all, serve all. With great thanks I say to you, and humbly, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Have a beautiful, blessed Navratri and a blessed rest of evening. Om Namah Shivaya. Until we meet again, Jai, Jai Shri Krishna. Hari Om.
जय माता दी। हरि ओम, हरि ओम, हरि
सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते हरि ओम। जगदम्बे भवानी शंकर माता की जय। सीताराम नमस्ते, जय गुरुदत्ता, ओम साई राम, सत श्री अकाल। Pandit Neil Dev Persad here with a humble invitation to join us at the Devi Mandir, 2590 Brock Road in Pickering, Ontario, Canada, from Wednesday, October the 6th through Thursday, October the 14th for 9 nights of Navratri Yajna, Sri Devi Bhagavat Puran Yajna. Joining me will be Pandit Girish Khali and of course Pandit Jag Gosai, who will take us from Wednesday, October the 6th through Saturday night, October the 9th. And I will be joining you from Sunday, October the 10th, all the way through Thursday, October the 15th. 9 nights of Devi Yajna from 7 to 9 p.m. each night. Durga Ashtami will be celebrated on Wednesday, October 13th. And of course, we'll also perform Kanya Puja. At the end of Durga Ashtami on the 13th, we'll then proceed to the outdoor Havan Kund, where we will burn 108 dry coconuts as Balidan in praise to Devi Bhavani Shankar Mata. Please join us as we bring to you beautiful pravachans, beautiful kathas with lovely music, singing, chanting, kirtan, and of course a very divine atmosphere. All health safety protocols are in effect, so you must wear a mask to get in. And of course, devotees, please exercise social distancing while you're there. I ask and I implore all of you, if you have not yet been vaccinated, please do so. Vaccines do save lives, and may the blessings of Shakti Devi Ma be upon one and all. I look forward to seeing all of you during these 9 nights of Navratri at the Devi Mandir. Come on, come all. Please invite your friends and relatives. Share the invitation. May the blessings of Bhavani Shankar Ma be upon one and all. Prem se bolo Jagadambe Bhavani Shankar Mata ki jai. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samsita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. प्रेम से बोलो भवानी शंकर माता जी की जय। जय माता दी। See you then. Om.